Well, it wouldn't be a full NFL fantasy season if we didn't go through the all Nooch team. I make the rules. It's the all Nooch team. Guys, neighborhood picks, like and subscribe. I have four running backs. Today we're doing running backs. We're going to do running backs, receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, maybe even a kicker. But today we're going to go over the four running backs. We're going to go over the two most valuable running backs this season, the two best, and then I'm going to come with two all Noochers that weren't on my radar to begin in the draft. I love doing that at the draft when we're all together live and we're having the draft, and I say to the boys, guys, who are the guys that are right here in front of us that are going to ball out this year that we just don't know yet? Those are my last two running backs. So the first two running backs, I got to go with this guy. Who had the most output? A ridiculous output season. That's got to go to Austin Eckler. If I got to name the one fantasy football most valuable player, there's a lot of good ones, but Austin Eckler for the Chargers, he's a hell of a back, and he also benefited a little bit from it's got to be a perfect storm. The Chargers had a little bit of woes downfield for a stretch, and Eckler benefited even more with his skill set. So Eckler, he had 204 carries, which is more than you think, because everybody looks at the Chargers like they're a run and shoot team. He had 204 carries for 915 yards, which is pretty good. 13 touchdowns on the ground, and he had 107 catches for 722 yards. So the guy had 1,600 and some yards altogether. I mean, that's impressive. He had 5 touchdowns receiving, so the guy had 18 touchdowns. So when you're putting together 915 on the ground, 100 catches, PPR, 107 catches, and you're getting 18 touchdowns, that's the fantasy MVP. So the number one fantasy running back is Austin Eckler, MVP of this season. Will he back that up next season? I don't know, because circumstance played a little bit into those numbers, but that's the luck you need sometimes. That's why fantasy's so crazy. My other MVP, first team all Nooch, the other running back in the two slots. This is, in my opinion, the best football player, the best running back, including Eckler. Comeback player of the year, in my opinion. Not that he came back from anything, because he actually came back 2 years ago, but Saquon Barkley. If you watch Saquon Barkley last year, his first year off the ACL, and you watched him this year, it's like two different guys. Saquon Barkley has led the Giants, along with Daniel Jones, but he has led the Giants to the promised land. We're already playing with house money. As a Giants fan, we got a first-round matchup against Minnesota. I am so excited. I lived through the '07 season when we were 9-7 and beat the 18-0 Patriots. I know anything can happen. Saquon Barkley was the huge reason for this. 300 carries. That's a thoroughbred. 295 carries at 4.4 a clip. 1,312 yards and 10 rushing touchdowns. That's dirty work. And he had 57 catches for 338. Not too shabby. 57 catches, not too shabby. But he earned every yard. Everybody in the building knew it was going to him. It wasn't like, like Eckler, you're not sure. You know Herbert's coming. But Saquon Barkley dug in the ground and showed why he's the best running back in football right now. So with 13-12 on the ground, 10 TDs, 57 catches, Saquon Barkley solidifies the other running back spot. So Eckler, Barkley. Now, I know we got some great running backs. I know McCaffrey went later to San Fran. Who's more versatile than him? He's great. Nick Chubb, just another 1,500 yards at 5.1 a clip, led all the top 10 guys in yards per carry. Now, Nick Chubb, he only had like 20-something catches, but, I mean, he's just an automatic super running back. So don't think I'm not mentioning those. Leave your comments in the box of who your two MVPs. If you could only take two MVPs, mine's Eckler and Saquon. And as far as guys we didn't have pegged in August, second team all Nooch, I got Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon for Fat Andy and the Chiefs. It just goes to show you a running back with talent. If he gets with the right system and the right team, I mean, this guy's got 9 touchdown receptions, 56 catches for 512 yards, and he's not even the first back. He comes in later. Pacheco's the back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was there at the beginning of the year. This guy got a late shot and maximized it. 72 carries for 291 and 1 touchdown. Not too shabby. He only carried 72 times. It's a good ratio, 4-point-something a carry. 56 catches for 512 and 9 TDs. Jerick McKinnon, with his impact, is on my fantasy all-Nooch team for exactly what I just said. Adding something to Kansas City that they really need it. And I haven't seen receiving out of the backfield like that since young Kareem Hunt. That's my second team all Nooch first slot. My second team all Nooch is my favorite rookie, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, down and dirty, yards. He runs. He's strong, and he's the next gen #1 fastest man in the league. That's right, numero uno. He's been managing a little foot injury since high school. He didn't even have the job all to himself. It was Penny, so he came on late. Kenneth Walker, 228 carries. That's a nice Pete Carroll load. 1,050 yards. He's in the 1,000-yard club, and he did not have the job all year. And that's 4.6 yards a carry and 9 touchdowns on the ground. And you know Seattle, they're not coming with fugazi trickery. Kenneth Walker is the reason that, along with Geno, that they're in the playoffs because they got themselves a horse. So Kenneth Walker, 27 catches for $165. That's not really his thing. But as far as a football player, my ears perked up like a German Shepherd when I saw him this year. I love Kenneth Walker. I'm not going to go crazy on him. I don't know. Who would you draft next year first? If you're at the draft and you're in 4th, 5th round, whatever round, and you see Kenneth Walker and Jerick McKinnon, who do you draft? And remember, they're both on the all-Nooch team. Saquon Barkley, Eckler, honorable mentions, McKinnon, and Kenneth Walker. Receivers tomorrow. First team all-Nooch running backs. There you go. Neighborhood picks. Like and subscribe.